Do I even need to say anything? This is the brand new Tamron 20-40 f2.8 lens. It's the D3 VXD, so it's really meant for that Sony email, and it's a full frame lens. Tamron did send me this lens, however, they have no say or input when it comes to me reviewing it, talking about it, and they see this when you see this. In a perfect world, I think this should be the lens that comes with every single camera. So let's just talk about build quality here. It's pretty well built. I have two other lenses here by Tamron. I have the 17-70. I'm actually filming on the 28-75. I have the 18-300, which also came out this past year. So if you see all of these lenses here, you really can't tell too much of a difference. This one has two rings on it. One's a focus ring, the other is a focal ring, changing the focal length. So when you extend the barrel, it actually goes to 20. And unlike the 18-300 or the 17-70, this one comes with a USB-C input, so you can update firmware and make subtle changes to the Tamron specs itself. Unlike the 28-75 though, there is no special button that you can press to change settings on the go. What I like most about this lens is that it has a 67mm thread, which is the same exact thread for the 18-300, 28-75, the 17-70, and now this lens. For somebody who's on a budget like me and likes to go with the budget lenses, you don't need to buy any new accessories. You can just change them off. Granted, that does take time and effort. You don't need to go out and spend extra money on step-up rings or anything like that. You can just continue to use the same ND filters and the same polarizers as you would on the 17-70 or on the 18-300. What I can say for you though with this lens, the difference between these other two is that this is a much more tighter sealant onto the camera. I have the 17-70 and the 28-75, and this creates a tighter seal between camera and lens. You can actually feel how much more tension there is between the camera and the lens. My biggest mistake with a lot of Tamron lenses is that when you change the focal lengths, and you hold it upside down, you can see there it's dragging, or you hold it straight up, it has a tendency to condense and change the focal length. Granted, it is only 20mm of focal length. You don't get that slight change when you're going up or you're going down. Let's pop that on there right now. This is 20mm. You can tell me if there's any focus breathing here. Now that might have changed focus to on my microphone because I have a mic on camera, unlike a lot of other YouTubers, but for the most part, I can definitely say that there is not that much focus breathing on this lens. And I hope that I'm right because I don't have my monitor going right now. So I'm just banking on Tamron and the past couple of lenses that I have. It's not a lot of focus breathing. There is some, don't get me wrong, there is some, but it's not shaking the entire frame like other lenses do. This is the next step up at 24. Now this lens can be perfect for real estate or landscape photography because it goes out so wide and the aperture is so low. Hope you noticed, but this is 28 now, a little bit tighter. Now I'm moving it out. I'll move in and out so you guys can see. I always thought it was funny on this lens how the markings go 20, 24, 28, 35, 40. I don't know why they picked each and every single one of those. 35, Super 35. I thought that would be a pretty cool focal length to have on your things, but it's marked kind of weird. This is 35 though. I'm gonna move in. And now we're at 40. This is the tightest this lens goes, other than you using your legs to zoom by walking up. F2.8, super good at low light. Not at 1.8 or 1.4 quality. Still, that F2.8 is like that perfect stop for basic nighttime photography. Here we go. You guys let me know if it's breathing a lot, breathing heavily. I really don't think it will, but yeah, that's 20 through 40 on the Tamron. Just a quick test in studio. I think that this is going to be the perfect vlogging lens. I'm going to take you guys on the studio tour with this lens right now just to show you what it looks like from a vlogging perspective. Bear with me though, I'm going to have to use that in-camera audio. Now just bear with me because I have that in-camera audio. We're at 20 and as you can see it's coming from my arm. So I'm holding out my camera. I'm 6'3", so I'm a fairly tall person. So if you're somebody who wants to vlog with this lens, I suggest that you either have one of those monopod type things that you can hold, one of those Joby pod things, unless you're really tall like me. Now here's my YouTube studio. I have, you know, a couple maps here. Let me see what else we got. A couple lights. This is where I test my products. I have a little lighting cage there. Have the Start Somewhere logo, and back here is my gear. And as you can see here, I have, you know, my Tamron box still, my Sony, my MacBook Pro box. I just really love having the boxes still. You know, that might be weird. Comment below if you keep the boxes for a long time. I just do that. The DJI boxes, the MacBook boxes, the Zoom crane sitting in the background. I don't really use the Crane M2 that much anymore, so it's more like an office decoration now. Like I might even just sell it. My director chair there, because hopefully one day I'll be a director. Extra lighting and another bag. As you can see, the space is not really insulated or heated that well. That's why I have a little fireplace going right here. This doesn't look like it's gonna shake a lot. This is at 20. Now let's go back into 40 now. Now this might be too tight, like it might be right on my face, and I don't know how it's gonna look because this camera doesn't have a flip out LCD. So when I see it, you'll see it. This is what it looks like at 40, me walking around. There's probably a lot more shake. It does have the vibration control, and I'm not gonna add any warp stabilizer on this, so what you see essentially is what you're gonna get from me. A little bit different there, a little bit more shake. Photography studio. Right, that's pretty much it. And my favorite thing about having it out at 20 is honestly just how wide it is. Like, look, I'm barely even holding it that much. I mean, I am tall, but still, vlogging with this setup, crazy. Colors are spot on, and it's something that getting in your car, you know, setting up your whole environment, bringing your viewers along with you to the video is just something that helps you tell a better story, and overall improves your channel, improves your video, improves your overall vibe. Like, look, this whole car is now in the scene and I'm barely even trying. All because this lens is at 20-40, which is pretty awesome. Now, yeah, I'm not holding the lens any type of crazy, just really chilling, man. Like, honestly, it's pretty amazing. Turning it around. This is gonna be the lens that I bring with me when I go on shoots to the city, when I go on my photography journeys throughout New York, and just overall adventures with my girlfriend. This is gonna be the lens that I bring with me to document at least the traveling experience, like the POV style, me talking to the camera type videos. This is awesome. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a budget guy. You know that I really value time, energy, and overall getting my product better with the least amount of money spent. Now, I've been doing weddings and music videos over the past year while traveling all over the world, and now I think this is a perfect lens for me to be able to document that experience and take you guys along the journey with me. Just me walking around the studio, you see a little bit of jitter with the 40. Okay, that's with the 40mm, but at 20, there's really not a lot of jitter going on there. It does have the new vibration control technology there, and I do like that on this Tamron lens. They up the quality as they should over time. This is a great adaptation to that new technology, and I didn't have that on a gimbal at all, and I favor that. I don't want to have to carry around a gimbal every single time I set up a vlogging setup. Setup, but still, you get the point. I don't want to have to, the less gear the better. I think I can pair this up with an FX3, Sony A7 IV, and just take it out of the bag with a shotgun mic and be ready to vlog. I've been traveling all over the continental US, whether it be Chicago, Atlanta, New York City, to do weddings and music videos, and I get a lot of compliments on my color and the way I'm able to shape the videos. What do I mean by that? Not a lot of people have noticed the difference between these lenses and the Sony G Masters. They think, oh, yo, what you shoot that on, like a $5,000 lens? I'm like, nah, bro, that lens was $699. Like, this is $699, it's a steal. This is $699, it's a steal. And the 17-70 is $799 or $699. All these lenses are fairly budget. You can pair this up with a nice Sony 85mm, which isn't too expensive, and be set, really. I had this paired with the Sony A7 III for now, which is, you know, the Sony A7 III and autofocus, you know, aren't too great, but the A7 IV, the FX30, the FX3 that have now been released over the past couple years, I would have zero complaints with any of those with this or any of the new Tamron lenses. I could walk around and move around, and whatever I point the camera at, essentially, it picks up without really any time in between. When a lens autofocus takes forever to focus, especially when you're out there shooting by yourself and it's either cold, windy, or you're gonna miss the opportunity to get what you want on camera, that can hurt you. And this, zero complaints so far. I don't really recommend going f2.8 with the aperture when it comes to low light photography or videography, but When I was shooting low light with this lens, which is over 2 years old, and the same technologies in both of these, filmed a music video in the city and really had no drawbacks with the low light. Now, when it became super dark, like no light, then it was a problem. But that's a problem with most lenses, even like, you know, a $2,000, $3,000 lens. Now, to conclude this video and wrap this video up really, who is this lens for? This lens is for somebody who is getting their start in videography, someone who is vlogging and doing a lot of traveling and needs something that is quick and reliable. Now, all of Tamron's lenses, for me, over the past 2 years have been quick and reliable. I've had somewhat around 50 clients. I do a lot of on-the-go, run-and-gun style shooting on a gimbal, handheld, usually shooting for the entire day. That weight comes into factor, and this is a very light lens. It's actually lighter than the 17-70. At 20-40, you can bring the viewer with you on any of your experiences, any of your journeys, and really immerse them in that experience. I think this is the perfect kit lens, to be honest. I think that this should come with every single camera. Why it doesn't come with every camera, I don't know. Why are all kit lenses, for the most part, genuinely horrible? I have no idea. Like, why would I buy a camera and literally say, you know what, I don't want the lens that comes with the camera? If it were this though, I would definitely want it. You get a constant aperture, you get a pretty decent focal length, you almost get 50 millimeters out of this, but on a crop sensor camera, you already get 50. Throw this on the crop sensor, you have a, you know, what, 25 to 50 on this, and that's pretty sick. Now, this is a Tamron. You guys are out here straight killing it. This can be for the experienced shooter, the on-the-go photographer, for somebody who doesn't want to switch lens that often. This can be for somebody who is getting into real estate photography, someone who is doing nature photography. I have really no complaints when it comes to this lens from 20 through 40. However, there's a little bit distortion at 20, like not too much, but a little bit noticeable when I look at the 20 on this and maybe the 24 on another lens. It definitely shows a little bit of distortion, but not too much. Like if you put it at 20 and you go super close, you're gonna get a little bit of fisheyeing, but why would you be going that close at 20 millimeters? You're already at 20 millimeters. You're supposed to be wide. So, I mean, whatever. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. That helps the channel out a lot, especially helps me get more lenses like this in front of me so I can make more reviews and make better videos and travel more and be able to bring you guys along with me on my journeys. It's your boy, Kip Jackson. Start somewhere. Peace. My favorite part about this entire setup is the environment. As you can see the environment right there. I'm right here center frame, but you can also see the background, which is pretty cool for this Tamron 20-40. If you're like me and you do a lot of walking around, a lot of traveling on a daily basis or a weekly basis, cop this lens, bring your viewers along with you, tell a better story, get a backdrop. Peace.